The next one we're going to look at on the January 2020 paper is number 43, which is the basic statistical diagrams that they have. This is a bar chart. The next one is usually the pie chart. So here, this is a very popular question. It repeats often, and they could ask different things, and we're going to look at some of the different things they could ask. How many children took part in the survey? So we have here a bar chart showing the ages of children who took part in a survey. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. So those are the ages of the students. And however high it rise, tell them how much students it have in our bar graph. So we went up to height of 3. So we have 3 students had an age of 4 years, just like in the frequency table, because we use the frequency table to derive this, and vice versa. You could get back the frequency table from this as well, the bar chart. So 4 students had an age of 5 years. 2 students had an age of 6 years. 5 students had an age of 7 years. And 1 child had an age of 8 years. So this tells them how much students we had. So when I add this up, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 at 5, 15, we had 15 students taking part in the surveys. We had 5 age categories, but each of those age categories repeated several times except for 8. So that's how we end up with that. So the same question, they could ask a variation, same exact diagram in May 2019. And some of the years they will ask was the modal age. Now we saw mode again earlier. Mode is the number that occurs the most. So which age group here occurs the most? 7 occurred the most. 7 had the highest bar. So that means 7 occurred the most. It had 5 students, which was more than any other year. So another recent one that I never saw before until that particular year was January 2019. So it's one of the harder ones as well, and you'll see why in a little while, for the second part at least. So the following bar graph shows the number of books 58 students bought at the sale. So we had 58 students taking part in the survey, and they break up the amount of students by how much books they bought. So you could buy 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books when they did the survey. So we had, this went up to a height of 8. So 8 people bought 3 books. In between the 8 and the 10, so that's 9 people bought 4 books. Again, in between 12 and 14, 13 people bought 5 books. In between 11 people bought 6 books. 10 people bought 7 books, and in between 7 people bought 8 books. And if I was to add up all of these, it should give me 58. I'm just doing a quick check to show you. 13 add 7 is 20, 30, 41, add 9, 58. So it is adding up to the 58 students that we were supposed to have. And for the first easier part, how many students bought exactly 4 books? So this is 4 books. How much students bought 4 books? When I check it off from my height, 9 students bought 4 books. The harder part going to be the median of the table. So when we have the group of numbers spread out, and we could do that for this one, we could write out all 58 numbers. It'll take up some space, but we could do it. It'll take too long though. The median number of books bought by the students is, I want to go back just briefly to this one here. So in this one, when we have an even amount of numbers, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we had 10 numbers, and the median, because it was an even amount of numbers, we didn't have an exact middle. The median was more or less the halfway point. So half of 10 and 1 after that, and because it was an even amount, we had to get a number in the middle. So it was half of 10 and then 1 number after that, or in other words, n over 2 and n over 2 plus 1, and the number was coming in the middle. So the 5th and 6th spots give them a median in that case. So same idea for this one. If I want the median of 58 numbers, it will be half of 58, which is 29, and the number after 29. Because I have an even amount, I basically want the number in between 29 and 30, or n plus 1 over 2, would be the 29.5 in between those two. But this is the answer. You realize they put 29 and 30 there. They just want the number that's falling in this position, but I have to calculate that myself. So if you notice here, 8 people already go on, 9 and 8 is 17. So by the time I reach here, I already reached 30. 9 and 8, 17 at 13, covering up to the 30th position, meaning that the 29th and 30th, both of them would have been 5, because this means I would have, just to show you what it would look like, 8 people buy 3 books, so I'll write out 3 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll continue. 9 people bought 4 books. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then so on. 13 people bought 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then I'll continue so on. But we already know the median going to be between 29 and 30, and up to here is 29 and here is 30. So in between these two, half of 5 and 5 is still 5. that's how the median going to end up 5. So you get this more in the structured paper very infrequently. So this is the only one like this right now. So if you could remember the answer is 5, you won't have to go through all of this working. So hopefully you can remember that. What I want to move on to next is they didn't have any pie charts in this particular year, so I want to look at some other bar graphs and some pie charts. So this is one of the other bar graph questions that they have. One with the radio station and how much people listen to the radio station. Again, this is radio station in hundreds, so 600, in between 6 and 8, 700, 600, in between 8 and 10, 900. Which two stations together have more than 1,500 listeners? More than will be 9 and 7 is 16. All the rest will be 1,500 or less. So that's B and D. My answer going to be D for that one. Same idea here for part 2 because both of them was based on it. Which station has the same amount as the mean number of listeners? So to get the mean, I add up all 4. When I add up 9 at 6, 15 at 7, 22 at 6. So again, 2,800 are divided by 4. I'm going to get 700. Which station have the same amount as the mean, which was 700. Station B and the mean have the same amount. This question repeated again. Let's look at some with the pie chart. So the pie chart is used sectors of the circle to represent the whole. And pie chart will normally have two things. It will be what we're dealing with and either percentage or degrees. And this one was percentage. So it's out of 100% and then to be out of something specific. In this case, the specific piece is 720 students. And I want how many people play cricket, not percentage play cricket. So I need to find that percentage part first. I know it's supposed to add up to 100 when I add up these pieces here. 25 at 10, 35 at 30. So far I have 65%. So cricket have to make up the rest, 35%. They ask for people, but you realize they put 35 here, hoping you make that mistake and say, oh, I'll get 35, that to be my answer. But 35% of this whole circle play cricket. So now I have to find 35% of what the circle is really representing. In this case, 720 students is the whole. I'll break this down and cancel. Eventually, I'll do it one time. 5 into 10, 2. 5 into 35, 7. 2 into 70, 36. So I'll multiply 36 by 7. And I'll get my 252. Let's look at one of the other popular pie chart questions, and again this one repeats often. So here we have a pie chart and they didn't give me the whole. I want the whole in this case, the total number that this circle represents. We have pine juice, orange juice, chocolate and milk in degrees. So a little bit of geometry coming in here. This is half the circle to finish off here. So 120 at how much is half the circle going to be? A total circle is 360, so half the circle will be 180. So how much more I need to finish off the circle? Chocolate going to be 60 degrees. But the nice thing, they already told me chocolate is 12 people. So that means 12 students representing 60 degrees. And I have different ways I could do it. But I know 60 is twice. 120 is twice 60. So that means if every 60 degrees holding 12, 120 degrees going to hold twice 12, which is 24. And now I have half the circle is 12 at 24, 36. So if half the circle is 36, the whole circle is going to be 72. Or if 60 degrees is 12, and I want the whole circle is 360, what I need to do to 60 to get 360? I need 6 slices at 60 degrees each. So I'll multiply by 6. And because I multiply there by 6, I can multiply here by 6 and get the 72. To finish off this paper, they usually have one probability question, right? Probability is just how likely something is to occur, and it will be written as a fraction, with the bottom number being what all the total possible outcomes are and the top number being the specific piece that you're looking for. So here we have 600 students writing the exam, and out of these 600 students I want to pull something from it. So the bottom number here is 600, right? And then we could always break it down or whatever if it was a probability. So they already give me the probability of randomly selecting a student failing the exam is 1/5. So 1/5 of the 600 students going to fail. I want to know how much going to pass. So if 1/5 going to fail, that means the remainder going to pass, which is 4/5, because it's the whole what I want to break up. 1/5, 4/5 going to pass. So I just find 4/5 of 600. So 480 students going to pass. Or I could have find 1/5 of 600, which would be 120. So 120 students failing. So the balance have to pass. When I subtract that, I'm still going to get 480. And I just want to look at some others quickly before we finish off this topic. Where I have missed that stuff. So these are just some others. So in a class of 20 students, 12 are girls, what is the probability that a student chosen at random is a boy? So again, it's out of 20 students, so 20 is my bottom number because I'm picking from 20 students. 12 are girls, how much going to be boys? Well, 20 take away 12, the rest of the class is boys. 8 out of 20, I'm not seeing the answer there because this could break down 4 into 8, 2, 4 into 25, so that's how my answer was 2/5. This is one of the newer questions they have as well. The following two-way table, because it's going across and down, that's the two-way table they're talking about, shows the mode of transportation to school on a particular day for a group of 200 students. So that's what everything going to be out of in this one. I'm picking from these 200 students. A male student is picked at random from the group. This is the whole group here of 200 students because that's the group that I have. So again, 200 going to be my bottom number. What's the probability that he does not walk to school on the day? So these are the male students. 30 take bus, 50 take taxi, 28 walk. In total 408 boys, and then we have the girls. So what they want is, what is the probability that he does not work? So I want to pick a boy from the group that we have. What's the probability that he does not walk to school? So these are all the boys here. I want to pick a boy, but I want to pick a boy who does not walk. So these walk, so these don't walk, so 50 out of 30. I'm looking at 80 out of 20, 80 out of 200, breaking down to 8 out of 20, and again, eventually to break down to 2/5. Just to look at a couple of others that students had difficulty with. This one here, when 3 coins are tossed simultaneously, the possible outcomes are all 3 will be heads. I get a heads in the first row, heads in the second row, tails in the third row, and so on, where H represents heads and T represents tails. What's the probability of obtaining at least 2 heads? So at least 2 heads means 2 and up. So I'm looking for 2 heads or more than 2 heads. So he have 2 heads and more than 2 heads, 2 heads and up, 2 heads and up, 2 heads and up. So out of how much possibilities we have? Let me see. When I flip a coin 3 times, these are all the possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possibilities. And out of these 8 possibilities, how much have at least 2 heads? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8. I want to break down 4 out of 8 because this is heavy on the fractions. I'm going to get a half. Let me see if I can grab a couple more simple ones quickly. Again, they have the one with the letters in a hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters in the hat. And I want to know the possibility of pulling a C. So they have 2 out of the 6 letters is C. 2 out of 6 going to break down to a third. And those are some of the popular probability questions. Up next, numbers 45 to 52. Yeah, 45 to 52 would be relations, functions, and graphs.